Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining me. Today I'm going to be talking about no obligation during the holidays, obligation versus desire. So, the call is specifically set up for women and more even specifically moms. And the very interesting thing about this is that I had about 10 people scheduled for the call today and not anybody dialed in. And so I was thinking about this. Why did this happen? And I thought, moms are just not used to showing up for themselves. And so even a call that's talking about how can we show up for ourselves, how can we take the obligation out, they weren't able to do it. And it's actually a really hard thing to do. So what I really wanted to do is serve moms and women best by sharing the content anyway. So you might notice I'm sitting in the bedroom on the floor because when I thought about it deeper, I thought, oh, this is really funny. I'm at my partner's apartment in Dallas right now, and his three kids, ages 7, 5, and 3, are in the other room on a video because he's on a call and I'm doing this call. So I thought, wow, anything's really possible. You can make it happen. It just takes a little bit more work and effort, but the biggest thing it takes is desire. So nothing happens without desire, and you have to be willing to stand for yourself. And this is not something that comes natural. It's not something that most of us were taught. It's something that we learn along the way. And mostly, if you're like me, you've learned it the hard way by doing so much, taking on so much, doing things out of obligation that you hit a wall and you just couldn't go on anymore. So that's a little bit of context for what we're going to do. And so we're going to do the call anyway. So thanks for joining. So this video, is for you. You'll want to watch more if you truly want to enjoy the holidays this year or whenever you're watching this. You want to love out on your family. You want to enjoy the traditions of the holiday that were passed down to you maybe from generations before. You want to release obligation. You don't want to do all the things that are traditionally expected of you. And also this call is for you if you have a desire to live more in truth. How do you want to live? Maybe you want to be more authentic. So those are all things that I work on with my clients. And so if any of those things resonate with you, then please watch more. So on this video, you're going to learn why the holidays often suck for moms, how our culture perpetuates exhaustion and consumption in women and really in men and parents as well. A lot of the things I'm saying can be relevant to dads as well, for sure. I just happen to focus on moms. I'm going to talk about 5 ways to stop being a supermom and enjoy your holidays. And then we're going to do a short exercise about desire versus obligation. So I'm going to set that up for you. So if you're watching this video, you'll be able to take yourself through that. And then I'll share about my coaching and we'll wrap up. So the whole call will be 20 minutes, maybe a little bit more. So let's see, a little bit about myself. I am a woman living in desire. I was a 5th and 6th grade teacher for 22 years. I am a mom myself. My kids are 19 and 21. 21-year-old is a girl and the 19-year-old is a boy. I recently took a big leap of faith and moved across the country, took a leave from my 22-year job. And so I've had a lot of practice of going outside my comfort zone. How did I do it? I got a coach. Everyone needs a coach, in my opinion, and that is what I offer. Coaches show us our blind spots, and they work us a little bit harder than we're going to work on our own. Kind of like if you go to a yoga class. I know when I go to a yoga class, I hold my poses for 3 breaths, 4 breaths, and the teacher says, okay, 1 more breath, and I'm willing to do it. And I do have a yoga practice every morning that I do, and no way do I hold the poses as long as I do when I actually go to a class. And that's what a coach does for us. They push us just a little bit harder than we push ourselves. So I've done a lot of work around healing, pleasure, desire, releasing codependency, appreciating men, and having clear and direct communication. I've experienced that sometimes things need to fall apart before they can be rebuilt. I do believe that the first step for creation is often destruction, and it's something that we avoid very often, but it is a necessary step for one thing to go in order for the next thing to come. And so, since we're talking about the holidays, in order to welcome in another way of having the holidays, you have to be willing to let some things go. So you don't have to let anything go if you don't want to. And the point of this call is for you to see where you're moving from obligation versus desire, and what you'd actually like to let go of. What do you want to release? And what do you want to hold on to? And I'm going to share some stories about that. So this is how holidays usually go, right? Mom does everything. She stays up late. She's baking cookies. She's buying the presents. She's wrapping the presents. I know I used to wrap presents for the men as well and shop for the men so that they would have something to give. We're baking for teachers, we're baking for parties, we're wrapping, and not only we're wrapping, we're shipping gifts as well, because we feel obligated not only to buy gifts for everyone around us, but we feel obligated to buy gifts for people who live far away as well. I was in Costco last night, and I think the heart of what is expected of us for how we want to show up, how we should show up at the holidays, lives inside Costco. There were pies the size of New Jersey. There were so many aisles of chocolate and things and food. People in front of me had an entire cart filled with champagne and wine. People drink more during the holidays. There's more depression during the holidays. So let's see. Oh, other things that women are expected to do, they feel obligated to do, is make everything perfect. I asked a bunch of women, and one person said, I'm expected to be the sugar plum fairy. They're expected to just make everything wonderful. Wonderful for the children, wonderful for the grandparents, wonderful for the neighbors, make the house look wonderful. And then they're supposed to look beautiful too. So, and let's not forget about creating memories and being selfless. So why do we do this? We do this because we want to feel loved and accepted. Why else would we do that? So if we make everything perfect and we do everything that is expected of us, then we have mostly this core belief that we will be accepted and loved. And so here's a good question for you. What if everything you wanted from other people, you gave to yourself? What if you took yourself out to that dinner? What if you found your favorite perfume online and ordered it for yourself? What if you drew yourself a bath and added rose petals? The rose petals that you bought yourself. What if you did all of those things? So I find the more I fill up myself and I'm willing to give myself, the less I'm seeking that in others, and the less obligated I feel to do things that I don't really want to do. Because we think it feels good to move from obligation and make others feel good. And maybe you can get away with it for a little while, but I know I can't get away with that anymore at all, because I could feel it in my body so deeply when I move from obligation that it just feels out of alignment for me, and I'll get resentful immediately. So I know I can't do that anymore. So think about that. What can you do for yourself this holiday season and always? Okay, 5 ways to stop being a supermom and actually enjoy your holidays. 1 is release all obligation. Just release it. You can feel in your body what you want to do and what you don't want to do. Rumi said, you can tell, I don't know the exact quote. I should have it here. I do have it, actually. I wrote it down. He said, when you do things from your soul, you feel a river moving inside of you, a joy. So if you don't feel that, then you're moving from obligation. Because when you are moving from true desire, you feel it in your body. You feel connected to yourself. You feel connected to source. So just get rid of obligation. If something feels tight in your body, you probably don't want to do it. Or maybe you don't want to do it then. Maybe you want to do it in a different way. Some adjustment is needed. Getting rid of obligation is scary. So if you notice that you're feeling scared by that, that's okay. It's totally normal. First of all, you don't have to do it. You might just notice it at first, right? It's radical and edgy to change the way you do things. And then the people around you might have reactions. And then what do you do with that? It scares other people. It scares ourselves. We don't want to look cheap. We want to be accepted in our social circles. So changing things feels really scary. And notice, do you feel that you need to give gifts to certain people in order to be in the social circle? And then is that a social circle that you really want to be in? You don't even have to have an answer right now. It's just something to truly investigate on a deeper level inside of yourself. Okay. Number 2, stop being perfect. You don't have to be perfect. We have a lot of pressure to have a perfect holiday. The inside of your house has to be decorated out perfectly. The outside has to be decorated perfectly. You have to have just the right pies, just the right meal, just the right decorations, just the right tree, just the right ornaments, just the right Hanukkah candles, just the right menorah, lighting it at just the right time, all of those things. I'll tell you that I used to send out a lot of holiday cards because I wanted it to look good. At first I thought it was fun. Actually, it was a lot of ego when I think back, because I thought my kids were really cute and I wanted to send out pictures of them. I'm like, look at my amazing kids. I don't know that I so wanted to actually connect with all of these people, but I certainly wanted to show off my kids. So first of all, I was not brought up on sending holiday cards. I'm Jewish, and it just wasn't something that we did. And I think that people used to do it, but it has gotten really big. I want to say out of control, but I don't want to judge it. It's gotten really big. So when my kids were little, I started sending out holiday cards. I got a picture of them and I made the card online and I sent them out. And for a couple of years, that was really fun. And then I started getting a lot of cards too, because I was sending out a lot of cards. And I would hang them up. And it was a lot of work. It was time consuming. And then there were always the people that sent me cards that I didn't send cards. So I'd have some envelopes ready to go. And if I got a card from them, I would fill it out and put a stamp on it and mail it. And then I was really thinking about how strange that is. And it's definitely an obligatory move. So one year I just decided to stop sending cards. I just didn't want to send cards anymore. I didn't want to show off my kids in that way. And I wanted to be connected to people I wanted to be connected to. And in fact, I was. So I just stopped sending out cards. And over the years since then, I've noticed the amount of cards I've gotten has completely dwindled. And this year, guess how many cards I got? 1. I also moved across country, and I don't think I gave anyone my new address. And it's fine. It's just kind of funny, actually. And the card was from my partner's family, so it's pretty funny. Okay. So, number 3 is keep it simple. Just keep it simple. You don't need 12 pies. You don't need 87 gifts. You don't need the perfect tree. You don't need to go to 5 farms to find the perfect tree. It's all perfect. I used to shop. I celebrated Christmas and Hanukkah when my kids were little. So I would have 8 presents for everybody for Hanukkah, and then a ton of presents for Christmas morning, and then maybe 1 for Christmas Eve. It was exhausting. I was spending a ton of money. So I just stopped. I just stopped doing it. And now my kids are a little older, so I'll ask them, what do you want? And then I'll get them that thing. And I also love, one way I simplify is I like consumable and disposable gifts. I like things that are, that you can use, or things that are experiences. So what I got last night when I was at Costco was for my kids, I got a gift card to iFly so they can have like a flying experience. And then, of course, I got one for myself too. And I'm like, this is awesome. They were $40 each. And then I got one for myself. And it's something we can do together. And it's not going to clutter up their rooms. They're going to love it. So I started doing gifts like that instead of things. There were a couple of years that I actually felt like a Scrooge because I just stopped enjoying the holidays so much because I used to host every single holiday. I used to host Thanksgiving, Hanukkah, and Christmas, and sometimes New Year's as well, and I was exhausted. And then I just decided I didn't want to do it anymore. And there were some jokes that I was a Scrooge, and I was okay with that. It hurt a little bit. And the truth is I wasn't a Scrooge. I was tired. All right, here's a really good one. And this is good for all year round. Make time for yourself. Do you do that? What do you want to do? Do you want to go to yoga? Do you want to take a walk? Do you want to meet a friend for coffee? Do you want to go to the local swimming pool and do laps? Do you want to go to the gym or buy yourself rollerblades? What is it that you want to do? I know that many moms that I work with and friends of mine are often, they don't want to go out. They don't want to take time for themselves. And I will tell you that is not the best mothering move. First of all, a happy woman is a happy mom. You want your kids to have happy children. So denying yourself to feel that you need to be with them all the time or that the whole house will fall apart if you go out, it's just ego and it's just fooling yourself. Go out, do the thing, get someone to watch the kids, maybe their dad, maybe their grandparents, maybe a neighbor. And here's the gift in that. And I know that you know this, but sometimes we need reminders. When you go out and you take time for yourself, not only do you feel replenished, not only do you teach your kids how to take care of themselves, but whoever your kids are spending time with gets the gift of spending time with them. So that's beautiful. Okay. There's something else I was going to say, but I don't remember what it is, so maybe I'll forget. Maybe I'll remember after. But I always have a tradition. On Thanksgiving morning, I take a walk, no matter what. And you know what? Even on the years that I hosted the holiday, I would take a walk. It was so beautiful and so refreshing, and I felt like, oh, I invested in myself. And let me tell you, taking time for yourself is not something that we're used to. If anything, if you watch TV or the media or any kind of commercials, it's all about just being there with your kids full time because that means you're a good mother and a good woman. It's not true. So it's a muscle that you need to work on. So it's like if you take up a jogging habit, you're not going to be able to jog 5 miles at a time. So you might not be able to go away for a week on a cruise the first time you go away. Maybe you will, but you might just start by getting your nails done, going shopping for a little bit, taking a walk, going out for 20, 30 minutes or an hour. And then over time you can build up. And it's good for your kids. It's good for them to be on their own and work things out. So you're not doing anyone any gift by feeling obligated to do everything yourself. So take time for yourself. And the last one is enjoy the traditions that you love. So what is it that you truly love about the holidays? What are the traditions that maybe were passed down to you that you really want to continue? I know that for me, I love lighting the Hanukkah menorah. I can live without presents, but I want to light that menorah. So that's something that I really want to do. And then there's a couple of food items on certain holidays that I really want because they remind me of my grandparents and they just, it feels good to me to honor that tradition. And yet I don't want to do it all. So what are the things that you really want to do? And then do those things. It's better to do less and do them well and do them with your full presence and attention than to do everything because you feel obligated to make it perfect. So don't do that. Okay, so now I'm going to give you a little exercise to do, and then we're going to wrap it up. So the exercise is, think about, what do you feel obligated to do? You can even close your eyes. What do you feel obligated to do during the holidays? Second question, what do you truly want to do? What are the things that bring you joy on the holidays? What are those things? And then this is a question for you to think about. What are some people or aspects of your life that might be affected if you let go of some of the obligation? And you can do that exercise at any time. Okay, so I hope you got a lot of really good ideas. Now I want to talk about a little bit about what I do. I am a transformational desire coach, and I work with moms who want better sex. They want more freedom. They want to move from desire in their life instead of obligation. If any of those things resonate with you, then you might want to set up an exploratory session. That is a free one-on-one session with me where we will talk about all of those things and more. What is it that you truly want? And what is blocking you from getting it? Probably it's some kind of patterns or programs or conditions or moving from obligation, and we will talk about that. So if you're not even sure that you want coaching, I would recommend setting up an exploratory because you'll learn a lot from the exploratory just on your own, and we'll talk about if coaching is a good fit for you. So I have a specific program that's designed to support moms. I'm really excited about it. It's called Turned On Mamas. I give my clients one-on-one support to unleash their full power, living in desire, having the sex they want, having the freedom they want, having clear, clean communication with their children, with their partners, with their friends, all of that. The women that I work with, a lot of them are mothers and they want these things. And then they also want to raise healthy, happy, mindful children. So it's like, how can you calibrate having the things for yourself as a mom and also being there to raise your children the way you want and be at those events and doing it from desire, not obligation. So those are the things that I work on with moms. And the coaching program encompasses all the ingredients that we talked about on this call: releasing control, releasing obligation, getting rid of perfection, stop being a super mom, and really it's tailored to you. So I'm going to have a link to my website in an email. And if you're just watching this video, you can check out my website under construction right now, brendafredericks.com. That's BRENDAFREDERICKS.com. And there's some information about having an exploratory, a little bit about what I do, and I would love to connect with you. If you want to send me an email, it's goddessbrenda24@gmail.com. I'd love to hear what you thought about the video, any insights, anything that you're going to do different for the holidays, and I would love to go deeper with you if that is something that you are interested in. Thank you and have a wonderful holiday.